Holla ballers and a bro fist to you all, because you know what day it is, you know what time it is drama time! It is time to wrap up our week, and what a week it has been. You all enjoy the PvP tournament? I think so. I think you did, right? I think you had a lot of fun with that PvP tournament, putting on our first ever in-house production of things we can do, and after today's live letter, ladies and gentlemen, after today's live letter of what is coming up in the future, including mega savage dungeon runs, no death, all misery, all pain, you hardcores asked for it and Squeenix has delivered. Maybe another tournament in the future, maybe some timed runs, maybe we can see who is going to be perform the absolute best of the best in terms of tackling this ultra difficult, ultra hard content. If that is what it is going to be, we'll have to wait and see. We don't know what's going to be dropped on us on those days, but it is coming, and coming very, very soon. It could be brutal. It might actually be fine. It might actually be fine. I don't know what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be goddamn good. The live letter today, for those of you who haven't caught up with all the notes yet by the time you listen to this, was very exciting. New raids, new dungeons, but unfortunately, in the saddest of sad news, we are to be plateless, ladies and gentlemen. We are to be returned to poverty. We are to be languished in the pit of despair of the plateless, thrown down with the vagabonds and the scum and the villainy that lives beneath the surface, the sewer dwellers themselves. We are to become plateless. Temporarily. But in response, we will be granted the greatest of gifts. And that is the gift, my friends, of new poses. New poses. We did indeed get the Island Sanctuary announced and some details, which I'm terrified for the people who love that kind of game. I'll try it out. Of course I will. Of course I'll test it, but I've never been one for your Animal Crossings and things like that, but I feel like some lives are about to be swallowed whole. No chewing. Taken from us too soon, some people will be. Taken from us too soon. So look around at your friends and family and embrace them before it arrives and they are gone. Squeenix believes, or at least Yoshi P believes, that this is not the type of content that people will consume hardcore. It is designed to be casual content, to be done over the weeks and the months and the years that you will be occasionally stepping foot into your Island Sanctuary. I, for one, say, yes, okay, sure, sure. That is definitely what's going to happen, as it does with all MMO content. It is slowly consumed. We take our time, we digest it, right? That's what's going to happen. It won't be a ravenous Vorthry feasting upon the bones of any morsels of content that can be available to us. And I think that is exactly what is going to happen there and then. But in good news, speaking of revels, data center travel is coming to Final Fantasy XIV. The Chaosers will mix with the Lighters. The good will mix with the unclean and the filthy of Chaos. And as such, of course, our next event following the PvP tournament will be the Rejoining. The Rejoining will occur. And if you can see down below on the stream right now, you'll see the Rejoining will occur 1 week from tomorrow. The Rejoining will take place. In association with the bunnies over in Camp Seppler, we will be performing the Rejoining. The crawlers will don their robes. And you can don your robes too, if they are appropriately coloured in the glorious shining light of the trolley, honey yellow. And we will head over to the light servers, where we will greet our lost brothers and sisters in harmony. We will embrace them as we would our own children. We will welcome them, and we will say, it's okay, you're safe now. And then, following that, we will take them to the dirtiest, most extreme party that Final Fantasy XIV has ever fucking seen. For the first time in Final Fantasy XIV history, we will be throwing the first ever full block party. And if you don't know what that is, Ward 5 on Spriggan will be the place to be. So lighters, those of you out there traveling the murky depths of the light servers, you are welcomed. We have many free companies who will be joining in. The party will not only be at the Quer Preach Gaming Crawlers headquarters. Oh no. The party will be all over the ward. as all the free companies who can will join in to put on a festive event for you guys. We will be in association with Endless Nights. There will be live DJs throughout the night, and beers will be drunk here in the office. It is going to be a night. It is going to be a night of revels, my friends. A night of revels. That is what's going to be going on a week from tomorrow. On Saturday, we'll have the time for you through the week when it's all actually happening. You can come down to the office if you can make it, Paku. You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome for the revels here. But it's going to be a good night. Don your robes, get ready, and then, of course, prepare your party glams for showing off exactly what you are capable of, exactly how good you are, and show these people from the light servers exactly how we do it over in the murky depths of chaos. I want to see it. It's going to be good. The server will not crash. It will be fantastic. It's going to be a great, great day. Well, that's not why you're here today. That's not why you're here today. You're here because around the world, in the internet superhighway, in the ether of anonymity, we have a collection of people that get up to no good. Sometimes with best intentions, sometimes they mean well, and sometimes people are victims of these people. Now we can do one of two things, and in fact we will do both. We will smile and laugh at their torment and their horror. But we'll also take a lesson from this, to watch out for the red flags that are raised, for the dangers that await us out on the internet. But primarily, we will laugh and giggle. Now, the first story I've selected here from the selection that Bex has sent me, and if you guys have a story you wish to share with us, you can just send it via the email machine, hackermans, to drama@preachgaming.com. It's that simple. It's that simple. Confession. I have taken confession of my users on occasion. I have sat behind that pulpit and listened to your tales of woe. But what if? I mean, have you ever asked yourself? You know why you may have called tech support in the past. But what do you think other people called tech support for? What kind of questions were they asked? Why were they angry sometimes when you called them? Well, we're about to find out. We are about to find out. Our name for the story will be Lion. Where's my talent trees? All I did was install 3 speed hacks. Is it right that you've banned my account? I don't know. Dear Preacher and the glorious audience. Hello to you, my friends. Let me take you back to 2010. That's right. We're going 22 years into the past. We're traveling back in time. You're in Ice Crown Citadel in World of Warcraft with your friends. You're enjoying it. You're relishing in the delights that the Lich King has finally arrived to your WoW service. The raid is going fantastic. It's beautiful. You can farm gunship on heroic without being any good. Loots are good. You've just made it to Professor Putricide for the first time. The raid leader is explaining what to do. But you've already watched the Fat Boss video. You know what to do. You're smart. You're educated. You're not a noob. You've done your research. As the off-tank, you have an important job to do, don't you, my friends? You will be drinking the potion and controlling the big, bad abomination that runs around the room. Drinking and guzzling the pools of liquid on the floor. Everyone is buzzing with excitement. They have all heard how fun this boss is. His wonderful voice acting, the silly mechanics. Your rogue friend links you the flesh-carving scalpel from his loot table. Excited that that might drop today. Perhaps he can get it. You wish him the best of luck, my friend. Although you play rogue, I don't hate you. But secretly hope that he fails. Because your sword also exists on this boss. And you want it. The sweet, sweet facelifter just waiting for you. Or that sweet, sweet tanking trinket that also exists on his loot table. Good luck, my friend, but I wish you naught but disaster and despair. There's a countdown. The fight's about to begin. You ready up. This is your moment to shine. The raid engages the boss like poetry. Everyone cruises into their correct positions. You dash across the room and click that abomination potion and oh no! Suddenly, in the middle of your screen, the most unglamorous, ugly error message window has appeared. It's full of garbled nerd text, words that make no sense. containing something to do with an LUA. You click the close button on the error window, but it comes back immediately. Trapped, ensnared. You can't see the game at all because of your giant error message. You hammer that close button like a machine gun, but the text changes into different errors, but it won't go away. In the background, you can hear the noise starting. The raising of words, the anger, as your friends have started to notice that you are in fact a failure, a fuck up, the person who is ruining the experience of everybody else in your raid. You're desperate now. Clicking and clicking and clicking as the voices get louder. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? All you have to do is click the fucking potion! You try to explain. Try to tell them, I have an error. I have an error. There's a window on my screen, but it's too late. Too late. Around you, you can see the bloody corpses of your friends as the whole group falls to the floor and dies. You apologize. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I don't know. As the reses go out and the raid gets ready to pull again, I don't know. I don't know what happened. Your friends are understanding. It was the first pull. Okay, no problem. Can you fix it? It's not your fault. Some sort of third-party interference, no doubt. But the error window is still there. They're giving you commiserations, but it's still in front of your eyes and you don't know what to do. I'll relog. That's what I'll do. I'll relog. I'll relog and it'll be fine. I'll relog. So you do. You log out and you log back in. But the error message is gone. It's gone. We're free. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You dash across that room like a lightning bolt, determined not to fuck up this time. Your one chance has gone and they have forgiven you. You cannot make the same mistake again. But the moment you click that potion, it returns. Nothing you do gets rid of it. You even try doing a reload of the UI in-game. There's still time to save this. Doesn't work. Your friends are friends. They continue to be supportive. Okay, it's an add-on. But you can tell that their patience is wearing thin. This is your one job. This is all you have to do. After 3 more tries, the raid leader says, pop the brakes. Stop. The raid leader tells you you need to move to a private channel. And there you hear those words that no off-tank should ever have to hear. Arthur, I'm benching you until you sort out this problem, because you cannot help us on this boss fight. Now ask yourselves, my friends, what do you do? What do you do? You're in this predicament. What do you do? 3 options stand in front of you. We have an A, B, or C situation. A. Some lucky players have a guy in the guild who knows how to fix this kind of thing, so they help him. B. Some would do a Google, or perhaps even in 2010 and ask Jeeves. Or maybe they'll go to a tech support forum to see if they can figure out what it is. C, which is the correct answer, update your fucking add-ons and take off anything that's dodgy. 3 solutions that pose to our user here that could solve his problems. Updating add-ons, remove any dog shit you don't need, Google the problem, or ask a friend for help. But there are other people out there, ladies and gentlemen. There are other people out there who do not see the clarity that is option A, B, or C, that may inevitably lead to a solution. No. When they have an error with their add-ons, there are some people out there who reach for the phone. They reach for the phone. Because they have what some of you may not know exists. They have a manual, a game manual. And inside that manual, our gods at Blizzard saw fit to bless them with a phone number for tech support. And if you call that number in 2010, you might end up talking to me. Now, you probably imagine that Blizzard tech support calls go to a shiny office in Irvine, California, where there's sexy 20-something dudes in Alliance and Horde t-shirts answer calls while they're running dungeons and having playful fights with Blizzard-themed plush toys. You know, we might have thought that in 2010. We don't think that anymore. There was a time in 2010 where perhaps that's what we would have imagined. But 2022 is quite the different picture of the internals at Blizzard. Quite the different picture, especially in the tech support offices. It's not quite the image we have anymore. Some say that image may have been tainted over the last decade, but here we are. The more cynical among you, the more cynical of you, and you would be cynical, may imagine that the calls go to a grimy call center in Mumbai where crusty old ladies read off a tech support script in 40-degree heat. And maybe in most of the world, the calls go to places like that. But let me tell you, that is not how it works down under in Team Australia. You see, when Activision merged with Blizzard in 2008, tech support for all products got merged into Activision's support system. That support system was comprehensive and did employ in-house support staff. But it only serviced the Northern Hemisphere. If you went south of the border, south of the equator, Activision outsourced the job. To be fair, only poors live below the equator. Who have you got down there? Greece, poor. Australia, poor. Argentina, poor. Right? All the cool countries are above the equator. Can we agree? Can we get a hell yeah? Greece is below the equator, isn't it? Is it close? I think so. It's pretty close. What? Australia, poor. Pretty poor. Pretty poor. A lot of desert. Not even close? Ah, well, close enough. Close enough. All right, not Greece. There you go. Not Greece, but definitely Australia. So we'll count that. New Zealand. Yeah. I am subbed, not poor enough. Activision considered south of the equator to be the poors. And they outsourced the job to a local contractor. That contractor then hired me. And when I say only me, to handle the calls. There was no call center. Every time anyone called the Blizzard tech support number from Australia, New Zealand, or a dozen island countries in the Pacific, my literal house phone rang. And I answered it from an extension in my bedroom. You know what? How much do you reckon, like on a business side, how much do you reckon that the support center that enlisted our hero here, how much do you think Activision paid him to supply tech support? The third party, not our author here, the middleman, who is in between Activision and our friend. $5 an hour? No. I reckon they charge something like $500,000 a year, maybe something like that. $200? Nothing? No, the middlemen got fucking loads. Yeah, the middlemen got shitloads. They were charging Activision for full tech support and providing a one-man army. Thousands, right? It must have been thousands, and they offload it to our one guy here. Oh yeah, I don't know what this guy got. I don't know if it's in the tail. It might be. Now, how did I end up being the man who got the call? I got this job through a friend. I had played some World of Warcraft and could fix basic problems like getting rid of LUA errors, windows, or turning off the language filter, but I'd not been trained. People often called about games I'd never heard of, like Blackthorn. What the fuck? Nevertheless, I did this job for nearly 3 years. And how is that possible? Well, remember this. The only way you could find this tech support phone number was in the game manual itself. And who the fuck looks in the game manual? Nobody. Except the most pleb of plebs. The most common call I received, by far, went like this. Thank you for calling Activision Blizzard support. My name is Lion. How can I help you? I just fucking, hang on a minute. All right, so I just installed World of Warcraft, right? And I click on the button and it won't go. I'm sorry to hear that. What do you see on the screen when you try and launch the game? Like a black screen, like a moment, mate. And then like it just goes like back to where I can see like the internet button and that. I see. Do you use a Mac or Windows PC? The laptop from school. Yeah. Now, I bet everyone in your chat already knows the problem. Ooh, what's the problem? Apparently, he believes we should all know the answer to this problem. What's the problem? I would not have got this. Beats me, no internet. He has internet. Okay, sounds like a resolution issue. You're too advanced. No, you've got to stop thinking like... Look, guys, you're going to have to put yourself in the mindset of somebody who looked in the game manual for a tech support number before Googling it. All right? Try and put yourself in that mindset. You really have to roll back. Your solutions are far too technical. Far too technical. Afterglow nails it. There we go. Okay. Can I ask, does your laptop have a graphics card? I can see the screen. Yes. But do you have a graphics card? Cable's plugged in. Yes. But do you have a graphics card? Oh no. I don't know, mate. What then followed were some steps to confirm that, indeed, the school laptop that they have been provided does not have a good graphics card or a graphics card at all. I had this conversation 12 times a day. Fucking hell. That's 12 times a day. Jesus fucking Christ. People did also call with some genuinely complex technical issues, of course. Probably driver conflicts, administrative permissions, port forwarding. And unless it could be solved by removing add-ons or disabling antivirus, I couldn't do anything for them. And I honestly could say in those 3 years, for the people who had genuine technical issues, I was generally no help at all. You have a graphics card? You do? Ah, shit, I'm out of ideas, brother. That's it. That's all I got. I got this one done solution. I don't know what to tell you. Have you delete the what the fucking cache file? Easy. My job had no such metrics to track if I was actually being helpful. As long as the calls were answered, nobody at Activision, nobody at Blizzard, or the support contractor gave a shit that I existed at all. Over the years, I'm sorry to say, my friends, I got sloppier and sloppier. At some points, I just got bored with my job and started to I started to invent tech-sounding words to explain crashes. I would use words like chipset wattage modulation error. Chipset wattage modulation error. Boom. Sounds real. Sure. Why not? Sounds real enough. At one point, I suggested customers contact Intel for new firmware. I advised a customer experiencing lag in Oh, you fucker. You absolute fucker. I advised a customer experiencing lag in Alterac Valley to re-roll as a gnome. I once blamed a keyboard incompatibility on a gypsy curse. I thought I could get away with anything because I literally never heard from my boss. And to be fair with you guys, I had been getting away with this for a really long time. But I was wrong. I was wrong. Let me take you to 2012. I was coming to the end of my shift. I had just spent a particularly annoying couple of hours dealing with an idiot who was determined to play his Warlock using a Guitar Hero guitar. Of course. Not working. All I want to do, mate, is use my guitar to play my Warlock. Why ain't it working, mate? Just keys, after all. That's when my least favorite type of call came through. Thank you for calling Activision Blizzard support. My name is Lion. How can I help? Mate, you fuckers, you fuckers, man. You fuckers have ruined Diablo. You have ruined Diablo. Excuse me? I am a loyal customer, mate. I have been fucking playing Blizzard games since I was born. I played Diablo 2 for 10 years. 10 years. That's wonderful. I'm glad you enjoyed the product. But no. No, mate. You, personally, on the phone, you have put Real Money Auction House in Diablo 3 and fucking ruined Diablo. You have ruined Diablo. You should be ashamed, mate. You should be ashamed, you fucking arsehole. Arseholes at Blizzard, mate. Why have you done that? Now, usually, I would hang up about now. I should have hung up. But curiosity is a bitch. And I didn't. Now let me ask you, audience. What is the worst thing I could possibly have said? What's the worst thing? Just pay money? You're poor? Are you poor, maybe? There's so many people who hear the poor joke and don't get it. You fucking poor. Call Bobby. Well, our author's response was, "Oh, I'm so sorry about that, sir. Would you like us to remove the Real Money Auction House?" Yeah. Well, you're in luck. We agree that the Real Money Auction House isn't working. This time next week it will be gone. I hope you enjoy the game. Okay. Thank you then. And the call ended. Why did I say that? At the time, I thought it was funny. Let's be honest. Most of the stupid things we say in our lives is because I thought it was going to be funny. And the thought of him waiting earnestly, sitting there at his Diablo screen, waiting for the Real Money Auction House to be removed, only for it to stay, I thought was going to be really funny. And part of me was kind of looking forward to the call back next week. I logged out the phone system, satisfied, and went about my evening as normal. The next day, 6:15 a.m., my personal phone rang. It was my boss, the owner of the support contractor. And overnight, the shit had completely hit the fan. A story had appeared on a minor gaming news website announcing the end of the Real Money Auction House in Diablo. And for this website, you dumb fuck. Oh, God, I didn't even think... You know what I thought? I thought this was lining up with when they disabled it. And the guy would feel like he was the one who got it removed from the website. Oh, my God. For this website, this was the scoop of the year. According to the article, a Blizzard representative had personally informed a well-known Diablo 3 streamer of the news. Larger sources have been contacting Activision Blizzard for confirmation, and the Diablo forums were on fire. Activision was forced to issue statements that the Real Money Auction House was there to stay. This was awkward because the whole system was already controversial. Meanwhile, they had traced the Blizzard representative to the Australian tech support line, which consisted entirely of me. Fuck. My boss asked me straight, had I told a player the Real Money Auction House was going to be removed next week? Now, I do admit that this was not the most intelligent of responses, but I thought maybe. So I said, I don't remember. It got worse from there. Another voice came on the line. It turned out I was in a group call. It was a lawyer. And she explained something to me that I didn't understand, called a stock event. And this entire concept was apparently very important. The announcement of such a structural change to a major product had the possibility of affecting the stock price of the whole company. Under the terms of his contract, my boss could be held financially responsible. She told me that my boss was now fighting for his entire financial existence And if I didn't cooperate, I could be clawed in too. Now, I'm not going to lie. This terrified the shit out of me. Suddenly, I did remember what I'd said to that guy. And I told them exactly what I had said, why I had said it, what happened, and I apologized profusely. Oh, shit. Okay. The lawyer gave me instructions, and I emailed through a complete written statement of what happened. I was then fired immediately, and they never contacted me ever again. Oh, God, that's a really bad day. You got fired over the Diablo auction house. What a fucking bummer. What a fucking bummer. Oh, Jesus Christ. It was horrible at the time. It was horrible at the time. But in retrospect, I needed to leave. It was a dead-end job. Tech support from home was turning me into some sort of ugly cave troll. I got a new and much better job within a few months, and my life generally just got much better. Good stuff. Round of applause. Interestingly enough, my boss, the tech support contractor, kept his Activision contract. He went on to provide really cheap local support services for EA, THQ, Namco Bandai, and a dozen other publishers. So, oh God, that means he's had to hire EA, THQ, Namco Bandai, and a dozen others. So he's had to employ like 15 people. That guy is really wealthy. I want to get to know your boss, because he is very wealthy. Unquestionably very, very wealthy. Oh yeah, Australia's taken care of. Don't worry about it. One would do that, or surely, I don't know, with like Dark Souls issues and shit, I don't know. The Real Money Auction House survived the incident, but I like to think I dealt it a fatal wound. The gaming historians in your chat will know that the Real Money Auction House was eventually removed in 2014. I thought it was same year. Man, if you were to have asked me before I read this, I thought the Real Money Auction House was removed like within like 3 months of the game coming out. They really kept it that long because everybody hated that fucking thing. Everybody hated that thing. It lasted that long. That's mad. You know, yeah. Consider that my gift to the community. You're welcome. And thank you for reading. And thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. Now, with my faux pas about Greece, even having traveled to Greece, hilariously, I've been to Greece multiple times. Sometimes we do imagine that some countries are so small that everybody knows each other, like Finland, right? And apparently, if I'm judging the title by this, and I'm sorry for our Irish brethren that may be here. Now, Team Island. Yeah, hello. I can see Team Island. I can see Team Island coming in here. Bye, Matt. We did a full map test this week. All of Ireland know each other. Now, I can tell you that this is definitely not true, and a lot of Ireland don't even like each other. They tend to have a few issues over there. Okay. Here we go. Dear Preacher! As a former WoW player, I've been enjoying your content for many years now. It's been a joy to see you branching out and discovering other games. You seem happier, and I hope that may continue for a long time. Salut. I have no epic tale, but I hope this small story of chance and Irish stereotypes might bring you and your audience a little smile. All right, chat. What are our Irish stereotypes? Drunk, unintelligible. Yeah, drunk's the first one. Potatoes, alcoholic, the end. Ginger, okay. Pots of gold. I did forget about the leprechaun. Drunk, shit at rugby. That's just Paul. Just Father Ted. Leprechauns, Guinness. Okay, so very Bellula. Bellula's also an Irishman. Okay. Hate the English. That's not true. For the most part. It depends. Let us go to Final Fantasy XIV, shall we? We begin telling our tale for today with a friendship between two free companies. In my travels and journeys across Eorzea, I often come across a particular pair of players, a handsome Ellison and an adorable, cute little cat boy. It put a smile on my face every time I saw their free company tag. Their company name was a wordplay on an Irish term. Ooh, Team Ireland. Give me a guild name. A wordplay on an Irish term. A wordplay on an Irish term. Give me something, Team Ireland. I need it. Guinness. That's not wordplay, is it? That's just Guinness. The Shamrocks. All right, we'll go with the Shamrocks. The Shamrocks. Okay. The Shamrocks. Now oh God. All right. Where's our author from? You will guess it like immediately. Yeah, for sure. And I am a Scotsman. Oh yeah, immediate. Dafty got it straight away. And I am a Scotsman. And as a Scotsman, I took immense pleasure in explaining it to my international free company members before our FC leader, Why Not Sharks, who is actually Irish, could explain the name to them. It should be noted, as the person responsible for bringing me into Final Fantasy XIV and exposing me to all the emotional devastation that entails, Why Not Sharks has already got me back for that moment, and I felt compelled to overwrite his Irishness with my Scottishness. In any case, after weeks of emoting at the other free company whenever I passed by one of the Shamrocks, someone got up the nerve to just send me a friend's request. Why didn't you talk to each other? You can do that, you know. From there, it went as you might expect. More and more of us started to friend each other. There was a connection across the sea. The Irish and the Scottish were joining forces. Soon thereafter, as we became friends, there was a tombstone event where you could get level 80 guaranteed portal maps from the itinerant Moogle. So I arranged a day, a celebration, a joining, treasure hunting, that we would go on towards the end of this event. I invited as many friends as I could, and the Discord links went out. The Shamrocks, as it turns out, are very, very Irish. Very Irish. On discovering that Why Not Sharks was also Irish and living in a similar area of Dublin as the rest of them, the dial on the Irishness went all the way to 12. They went full Irish. The accent came on thicker and fuller with every sentence said. Between discussing what we all thought of Endwalker and shouting at which mob to kill, politics were avoided, rugby was dwelt upon, Eurovision mocked and praised in equal measure, and we have all now been exposed to the glory, the majesty that is the Scrum Diddleys. Apparently the best ice cream in County Dublin, possibly the world. Scrum Diddleys? Okay, Bex has provided us a link for Scrum Diddleys. That sounds very Irish. That is very Irish. It's just ice cream. It can't be that good. Okay, this is just not Ben & Jerry's. What's the other American place? Shit. Scrum Diddleys. It's from 2012. What's it called? This looks exact. Baskin Robbins. That's the one. It looks exactly like Baskin Robbins. Real Irish dairy ice cream. We opened the first Scrum Diddleys Irish ice cream shop in Donabate in 2012, and our customers have been queuing around the block ever since following our success. Really? Irish people, do you know this? It's just ice cream. For our audio listeners, it's literally just ice cream. There's nothing special here. Nope. Never heard of it. Nope. Ferrero Rocher, Rocky Road. Everything's got a Kinder Bueno in it for some reason. I'm not saying it's bad. It's ice cream with famous chocolate bars in it. There's a Snickers one, a Twix one, a Bueno one. What about the facts, though? Scrumdiddly facts. We make our own secret chocolate sauce. Our new Keep Cup can be reused over and over again. Our specials are invented by Mrs. Diddley. Shout outs to Mrs. Diddley, by the way. We serve over 100,000 litres of Irish ice cream every year, and we aim to be the best ice cream parlour in the land. Mrs. Diddley Hey, a bit of respect for Mrs. Diddley, okay? Little bit of respect in the chat for Mrs. Diddley. Okay? Touch of respect is all that's needed for Mrs. Diddley. Naturally, we got to wondering, hey, if you guys are all in Dublin, maybe Why Not Sharks has seen some of you around, right? Outside. They were all working in different fields, though. Why Not Sharks had gone to the same university as a couple of them, but years apart. Ha! No, they said. It's not true that everyone in Ireland knows each other. We're a bigger country than that, you know? And we continued to play with each other. Helping each other's sprouts get further along. Flooding the Discord with cat pictures. Filling up boats for ocean fishing. When the housing lottery issue was finally resolved, we got our free company house. And it was one of them who turned up immediately with a mini etherite to give to us. But then, on Monday, the 24th of May, 2022, a crime occurred. That evening, a group of us were casually farming the Dancing Plague Extreme, so we could all have the pretty butterfly weapons and barding, etc. When the tank, Tremally, had to step away to take a call. She returned with bad news. Her father's van had been parked outside a golf club. It had been broken into. Thousands of euros worth of DJ equipment had been taken. And with a large number of gigs coming up, now that things were open again after the pandemic, this was a literal disaster. There was little we could do, obviously you could imagine. We could offer sympathy, ensure Tremally got all the in-game weapons she was after. And after a few minutes, the bants began to flow again. I mean, what else we were supposed to do? And we ended the evening less happily than we might have, but relatively okay, honestly. So then Tuesday, reset day. The usual suspects from our free company were to run the current alliance raid together. As we're queuing, Why Not Sharks had to mute to speak with her mother. This was nothing unusual, so of course we carried on. The first boss of the raid was up to his shenanigans with the floor when she returned to the call. Hey guys, so Tremally and I, we might be related. It turned out her mother had come to ask her if she knew Tremally's dad's name. Because Why Not Sharks had told her the story of her friend online and the theft of the DJ equipment. And she, the mother, had just seen a post on the good book, praise be, from her cousin, whose DJ setup had been stolen from a van that was parked outside a golf club. Now, of course, the story is obviously familiar to all of us. But of course, Why Not Sharks didn't know Tremally's dad's name. When was that ever going to have come up in a conversation in Final Fantasy XIV? So we had to go to Tremally. From the second boss through to the end of the raid, we were on tenterhooks. It had to be though, right? Didn't it? How Irish is this? Not only do they know each other, they're fucking related. And they're all fucking each other's cousins or something. The details were exact. It couldn't not be correct. If anybody had tried to troll us with a raid wipe mechanic on the last boss, I swear I might have murdered them. We needed to know. Fortunately, no one did. The boss went down cleanly. Loot was rolled on. We were released. Tremally was offline, though. She was offline on Discord, too. But we had to know. We had to wait. Had we gone full Irish? Wednesday came around. I messaged Why Not Sharks early on to ask, have you spoke to Tremally? Have you spoke? Are you guys literally fucking related? There was no update until the mid-afternoon. And then we had confirmation. Why Not Sharks and Tremally are cousins. Are legitimate cousins. Of all the servers in the world, of all the punny Shamrock guild names they could have chosen, of all the cat boys I could have emoted at, they were full Irish. They were related. Blood linked. And what I take from this is that of all the stereotypes I know of the Irish, from the Guinness drinking And everything else, everybody's related. And this is the proof of it. I don't know if they're all related. Paul, any confirmation? Is everybody in Ireland related to each other? Are you all cousins? Negative? Negative? I don't know. I mean, there's some pretty conclusive proof there, right? There's some pretty conclusive proof. That's all I'm saying. Go back far enough, probably. I like a coincidence like that. You can all be good to each other. I like it. It's good. All right, stop sending me maps, you fucks. Stop it. Let's see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. All right, what have we got? Who have we got here? GIGA Gamers. Okay. GIGA Gamers. Prepare to get swole. Toad Rage and Franz. All right. GIGA Gamers. Yeah. These guys are the big boys. These are the ones that mean real business. Oh, we need a guild name. Okay. Oh. Part of this will take place in Destiny 2. We need a Destiny 2 style guild name. Something probably a bit edgy. Little bit of edge to it. Yeah. We're mean. We're serious. We mean business. The whole thing. The swag lads. No. The Lightbringers. The relative blood sport. Oh, I like that. The relative blood sport. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Preacher! Hello to you and your ragtag band of Giga Chads in the chat. Okay, he's buttering you up. He's buttering you up. You know it's bad. I come before you today with a tale of a small group of gamers where we reached the absolute pinnacle of performance in a game that you now have some experience with, Destiny 2. The first, and as far as I can recall, story of Destiny 2 raid group to be brought before the jury. Though I do not seek judgment, but this one is one of sickness and evilness and camaraderie. Okay. We begin our journey with a little bit of background. I am an MMO god, and I've taken part in just about every MMO imaginable. World of Warcraft, Wrath to Shadowlands, with a little break in WoD and Legion, and raided casually throughout. I frequent the lands of Eorzea, Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars, The Old Republic, and Guild Wars 2. I have played Terra, Cabal Online, Fly FF. What the fuck is that? Lord of the Rings Online. What the piss is Fly FF? Fly FF. What's that? An anime MMO. Pass. Moving on. Basically, anything I could try and find a community in an open world. Outside of World of Warcraft, nothing really hit me, though, for that long journey other than Destiny 2. It was a complete shift away from the glorious open world, third-person tab targeting games I had grown up on. It's an FPS, but with loot. Upon my first time logging in, I created a warlock, shot some enemies, and saw loot drop. I was hooked. I played Destiny until the launch of Destiny 2, and made the switch to the new game, all the while being a solo one-man army. There's a decent amount of accessible content as a solo player, but the best content in the game, being raids, was completely out of my reach. I had a couple of friends join me in Destiny 2, which completed our 3-player fire team. However, we were still only at 50% of the players required for the big boy raids, where the shiniest of the shiny drops lurked. The pug world of Destiny 2 is, as you would imagine, in any MMO. It's atrocious. Specific level requirements, know what to do before you start, link achieve, listings everywhere. Specific weapon requirements. Trying to looking for group was nearly impossible, as no one ever wanted to tell you what to do. But you know how it is. It's the same in every game. Eventually, Bungie would try and help us. Praise be. They would launch guided games as a raid finder type option for those who wished to access the raids. You would select whether you were a guide or a newbie. The intent was that there would be those who would be Sherpa to the raid, queuing as a guide and match them with others who wanted to learn and help them out. This was a complete and total fucking failure. Oh, that's a shame. I mean, I could have predicted it. But what a shame. What a shame. Anybody want to help out some newbies? No. No, I don't want to. The queue times for these runs were impossibly long, sitting in orbit for hours upon hours upon hours. The issue was that anyone who knew the raid well already had people to do it with. Those who joined with no experience typically also had no comms and didn't want to talk to people, which in Destiny raiding is rarely something you can work around, as many of those mechanics require your raid to split up into little groups and send information backwards and forwards to each other. Bungie's formula for an FPS raid was not conducive to this type of blind matchmaking. So again, we progress with whatever solo content is available. Seasons began to release instead of minor expansions, which brought a positive change for the most part, but the same base content over and over again started to get on my nerves. And then after nearly 10 years, a decade of solo play with only 2 raids ever experienced in that time, literally 2 runs total, one ending in failure before the final boss, it happened. In the pink, as you would say, a friend reached out who had recently started to play some Destiny 2 after years away. He had made some IRL connections with other players in his local area. They had a clan, the Relative Bloodsport. And ladies and gentlemen, these guys were fucking gamers. Real gamers. After joining their Discord and clan in game, I was added to the raid roster within a week. This was a very relaxed group of friends who didn't take raiding too seriously, but were also good players, capable. They knew what to do, and they knew how to teach me. The raid leader set up groups for each of the 4 raids available at the time to teach me them, to start running with a regular group to get my experience up. I had gone from 2 raid experiences in 10 years and only 1 raid finish to over 12 raid completions in a month of 4 different raids. I want to take a quick moment here. I want to thank this group of Guardians. To thank this group of people that showed me the path. The experiences I've had in the last year of joining with these people have been the highlight of my decade playing this game. Some of the most fun I've had in gaming ever has been with this group. It's amazing what can happen with one message in the pink. I continued this trend of raiding 1 to 2 times a week and never ever looked back. So much of the game outside of the raids just seems so quaint, so petty, so small, boring, simple, easy. Raiding is where it was at. Raiding is where I wanted to be. And now it was all I wanted to do in the game. And then comes the most recent expansion, the one that you played, Mike, the Witch Queen. With a new expansion, of course, comes a brand new raid. With a new raid comes a new race to world first. One of my favorite pastimes outside of raiding myself was getting my couple of local friends together to watch the Destiny 2 Day 1 raid races. Destiny 2 raids are typically completed within the day from start to finish as teams are going in blind. So a bit different from, say, the Mythic race to world first. It's all about speed, quick problem solving. It's really a great time to see who can figure out the strategies the quickest and execute them the most effectively for brand new mechanics that have never been seen. I highly recommend checking it out someday. So, of course, this is my chance. I am now playing with gamers, with real gamers. I get myself on the roster for the Relative Bloodsport Day 1 raid team. I have qualified to take part in their race. I'm going to be a part of it. And with that moment under my belt, we failed miserably. After 19 hours of gaming, 19 hours of gaming, we had done 1 boss. And we were stuck on the 3rd encounter called Exhibition, which was the last encounter before the final boss. We ended the night happy with what we had done. We were happy, but a bit disheartened we weren't able to finish. You see, Destiny 2 raiding, when a new raid launches, the first 24 hours are set as contest mode. Basically, you're capped at a specific level, so you are guaranteed to go into fights at the same power level as everybody else. And an even playing field for all is the idea. We picked up our checkpoint and finished the last encounter and the final boss the day after contest mode ended. This time, contest mode being extended to 2 days due to technical problems. And then came the weekly raid logging of the Vow of the Disciple. Being a part of the Day 1 raid team and experiencing the raid at a higher difficulty than normal was great for pushing our group to learn the fights quickly. So we started to bring our other guild members. so they can experience the raid as well, obviously. Which brings us to now. It's been a couple of weeks since the run I'm about to tell you about, but I'm not going to forget it. In this raid, we had 5 who had completed the raid multiple times at this point, and 1 member who hadn't run the raid at all, or watched any videos or read any guides. Our friend here was totally blind. Now, to give a bit of context to the raid, the hardest piece of this raid to grasp is simply the number of symbols that need to be either memorized or be able to identify very quickly. There are 27 symbols with names for each that are critical to be able to identify for each encounter of the raid. For example, in the first encounter, there are specific enemies that spawn randomly at one of 10 set locations in a room, and when they are killed, they make a symbol visible on one of the 3 pillars near the center of the area. That symbol would correspond to a room that you would need to enter with the symbol above it. And once you're inside the room, 2 bigger enemies would appear on either side of the pillar, would again update with one of 2 options, light or dark, which would tell the person locked inside the room which enemy they were supposed to kill. Once they killed the enemy, it would show a final symbol that needed to be remembered. And you do this 3 times. Once all 3 final symbols are gathered from the 3 rooms, the main room is a big triangle, you would then go to these totems with 3 sides that are next to the pillars. Each side has 3 symbols. You find the totem with all 3 symbols that we just discovered through the rest of the fight and shoot it. That disables the totem, and you rinse and repeat 2 more times. Once everything's deactivated, the encounter is over, and you can collect some sweet, sweet loot. The first boss, Caretaker, is similar. Get symbols, shoot totems. Then when you get to where you're stuck, then you get to where we were stuck in our day 1 attempt, the exhibition. This encounter not only required gathering matching symbols and moving quickly through timed rooms, but there are a number of artifacts that must be carried, 3 in total, to counteract specific things throughout the whole encounter. 1 artifact allowed you to kill an enemy to extend your time in the room. 1 removed an immunity shield from the groups. 1 cleansed your group from a stacking debuff that would kill you if it got too high. All the while moving quickly through hordes of enemies to spawn mini-bosses that show the symbols required to open the doors. There are 4 rooms in total. Also, each artifact had to be dropped and picked up by another person for each room, and you cannot do 2 in a row due to a different debuff. So every single person in this raid has a job to do during this encounter. Every single person. Now, we usually try and change up the jobs that everyone has each run so that everybody knows what everyone else is doing. And that way, we're fine every single time. The more understanding that everybody has of what's going on, the better we'll be in the future. Right, guys? And this is when our first shock of the night came. Let's go back to our newbie, who doesn't know what the fuck is going on whatsoever. Toad Rage. Toad Rage was given a job. Toad Rage! Woohoo! Toad Rage! Can you do the cleansing totem in rooms 2 and 4? Upon entering room 2, things are looking good until we go, woohoo! Toad Rage! Cleanse, please. I'm trying! I'm trying! Turns out Toad Rage doesn't know what key it is on his keyboard. He's running around, melee lunging, trying to punch people. He's doing all sorts of wacky shit. But he's not cleansing. He's not cleansing. The team is crying out for a cleanse. Everyone dies, 1 by 1. We regroup. We explain that his cleanse key should just be whatever he has for block. Which is when our friend Franz says, I think it's C for block. To which I reply, I don't think so. I use default key bindings and C is my super ability. Wait. Franz, if C is your block, what's your super key? Spacebar. There's a silence in Discord. Spacebar, the group asks. Franz, if spacebar is your super, what do you press for jump? Oh, I don't really use jump, so I keep... Fuck off. So I've set it to 7. 7. 7. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that one little bit. 7. Silence, disbelief, and then hysterics as the entire group is pissing themselves trying to understand how anybody could play this game with jump on 7. Questioning about how large his hands were, how small his keyboard is, or if he just holds it sideways like some Fortnite noob. Everyone is in stitches just trying to comprehend how someone ended up thinking that 7 was a good button for jump. And of course, the memes immediately hit our Discord chat. We come to find out that his jump set to 7 because he uses a shift modifier through his mouse and he doesn't like to play with his keyboard at all. He uses an MMO gaming mouse where he binds all his keys, including his movement. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. That's bad. I still question how efficient that could be if you're trying to jump and shoot at the same time, but, I mean, he wasn't a shit player. Our man made it work. I don't know, man. Our man made it work. We get that encounter down in our 3rd attempt through, and we're on to the final boss. But I'm going to explain it to you. There's a buff that you get by shooting a spinny thing in the sky above the boss. You then have to split this buff between players through a plate on the ground that spawns more spinny things in the sky to shoot. Then those with the buff get hit by a boss beam attack and it empowers the buff. There's all sorts of buff management going on. All the while, juggling the buff so that it never completely falls off anyone. It has a 30-second timer. After dunking 6 empowered buffs, the boss runs back to a big room with open floor above. You then dodge boss attacks while one person shoots his staff, which gives them a buff. They then get hit by a boss beam attack in power, and the rest of the team calls out one of the 4 corner pillars to dunk that buff into, based on the symbol that was shown when the staff was shot. Once dunked, the boss will get an armor piece, which the team shoots to break. And after breaking 4 armor pieces, you go into the damage phase. Once the boss goes immune, you just rinse and repeat until the boss is dead. Well, we get to the boss. A couple of people leave for a few minutes just to go to the bathroom, and we figure, oh, this is a good time to explain this fight to our boy Toad Rage. Toad Rage says he's going to find an article on this fight as he prefers to read instead of watching videos. I prefer the written word. One thing I hate is to visually see what you're trying to explain to me. I will visualize it in my head using the power of the pen. You understand? I'd much rather read than fucking watching some idiot to try and play it for me. Feel free to go into more detail when the others get back. A few minutes pass and everyone gets back and we're ready to go. And Toad Rage Ninja pulls. For whatever reason, we just run with it. Sure, okay, let's go. No immediate call for a wipe. We just call out jobs we were taking and run with it and just give him some experience on how the fight works. Even if it's a wipe, at least he gets to see what the fuck is going on. We get through the first phase and head up to the boss floor. We get to damage phase 1, get the boss to about half health, boss goes immune, we run back down. Pretty happy that we've accomplished given everything was completely on the fly. And sure, yeah, we've done this fight before, we know what's going on. But with no communication around, anything going on, deciding roles as we want, it was a surprise we got this far. We usually take 2 or 3 attempts to kill this boss with a full group of regulars who know the fight. We get back down for the second time. Immediately 2 people die. It should also be mentioned that each member in the raid has 1 revive token, so we can do 6 reses, so long as the folks with the tokens survive. In an attempt to save the run, there are immediate calls on switching some roles. Hey, you can't be in it, buddy. Hey, your eye? Oh, okay. All over. I'll come and have a look at it, shall I? Oh, my little man's busted his eye. Gonna be a black eye. We get the revives off. We push through to finish the second phase and head up to the boss floor for the second time. And well, we did it. We had no issues leading up to the boss damage and actually finished him in only 2 phases. On a scuffed run with no communication prior to the fight and a member who had literally never seen anything until it was happening. Even if we had explained it all, our group would have never downed the boss in the first try. That night ended with absolute disbelief as to how we accomplished what we did. But, despite all our happiness and all our dreams, despite overcoming and achieving this thing for the very first time, as the boss died and loot was being shared, the only thing that happened over comms was 7. Really? 7? 7. That was the only thing the guys talked about that night. And I hope you enjoyed this little raid as much as I did. I think that's what helped you kill it. That's what helped you overcome. Everybody's brain was completely at ease. They're all like, 7? Really? That's crazy. Binding jumped to 7 to see what you could do. Impossible to play a melee character with a 7. There's no way that's happening at all. 7. 7. Ladies and gents, I'm going to love you and leave you. My family's here to see me, as you have well seen. We had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We have nothing particular on this weekend, I don't think. But remember, next Saturday is, of course, the rejoining. We will be meeting Team Zeppler and the Bunnies and throwing a huge Final Fantasy XIV party next Saturday. So that is a week tomorrow. So get your glams ready, get shined up real nice. I want you looking pretty, I want you looking gorgeous. To everyone else, I'll see you on Monday morning for some Blitzball. Blitzball, Monday morning. All right, dudes? Blitzball. We'll see you at the rejoining next week. Be good. Bye, everybody.